want to kick things off today with something we've all felt, right? That classic gut feeling. Your digestive system, it turns out, is way more than just a food processor. And the key idea, the thing you really need to grasp, is that your gut has its own huge network of nerves. People actually call it the second brain. So our mission today is to unpack the science behind this two-way street between your head and your stomach.
This video is made for educational and informational purposes only.
Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to take your stack of sources, filter out the noise, and, pull out the really surprising knowledge that helps you get informed fast. I want to kick things off today with something we've all felt, right? That classic gut feeling, that knot in your stomach before something stressful, or that awful gut-wrenching feeling when you get bad news. We used to just brush it off, maybe as a metaphor. But the science we're diving into today,
it actually suggests this connection may be real.
And incredibly powerful. So our mission today is to unpack the science behind this two-way street between your head and your stomach. Your digestive system, it turns out, is way more than just a food processor. It's constantly shaping how you feel, how you think, even how you react. And the key idea, the thing you really need to grasp, is that your gut has its own huge network of nerves. People actually call it the second brain. Understanding how these two brains talk to each other, that's really the key to transforming, everything. Your mental health, your overall well-being.
That's spot on. And scientists actually have a name for this relationship. It's called the gut-brain axis. And the really crucial thing for you, the listener, to get is that it works both ways. It's bidirectional. Think of it like a constant real-time chat between your gut, your gastrointestinal tract, and your central nervous system. It's not just the brain calling the shots. The gut is sending a ton of information back up, really demanding attention.
Okay, so if they're talking, how are they connected? What's the actual, physical line between them?
The main physical link is the vagus nerve.
The vagus nerve, okay.
Yeah, think of it as the superhighway connecting them. It's the longest cranial nerve. And get this, maybe up to 80% of the signals travel from the gut up to the brain.
Wait, 80% go up from the...
That's right. Only about 20% go the other way, from the brain down.
Wow, that completely flips the script, doesn't it? We usually think of the brain being in charge.
It really does. And this matters so much for you listening, because when that vagus nerve is working, we call that high vagal tone. It helps you stay calm, think clearly, manage emotions. But if there are, let's say, traffic jams on that highway, maybe from inflammation or chronic stress,
that imbalance may be associated with things like anxiety, mood changes, and cognitive difficulties.
it's a whole complex system. You've got neural pathways, hormones, immune signals, all playing a part.
Hormones, immune signals.
Yeah.
Sounds complicated. If someone's feeling out of balance, how do you even begin to figure out what's going wrong? Let's maybe focus on the chemicals, the messengers on that highway, because you said there's a big surprise there.
Absolutely. We have to look at the chemistry, neurotransmitters specifically.
Okay, like serotonin. That's the famous one, right? The feel-good chemical we link to mood and stability.
Exactly. And here's the stunner.
Research suggests roughly 90% of the serotonin in your body may be produced in your gut.
It regulates mood, sleep, digestion, sure, but the factory is mostly in your gut.
Hold on. If 90% is made down there, why do we always treat depression like it's purely a brain chemistry thing?
Yeah.
I mean, if someone's on SSRIs for depression...
Does gut health also play a role in how the brain uses serotonin?
That's precisely the shift happening now, especially in things like nutritional psychiatry.
Medication prescribed by a doctor can be an important tool, but emerging research suggests that if gut health is compromised, the broader system may be affected. Some research suggests an imbalance in gut serotonin production may be associated with mood changes. Lower levels have been associated with certain mood changes too.
And what about stress? We can't talk mental health without stress. How does the gut play into cortisol, the main stress hormone?
Great question. Cortisol is managed by the HPA axis, the body's stress response control center. Now, cortisol itself is released by the adrenal glands, but its overall levels, heavily influenced by your gut health. If you have chronic gut inflammation, for instance...
Which a lot of people do.
Exactly. That inflammation sends distress signals screaming up the vagus nerve. That puts the HPA axis on high alert, pumping out more cortisol.
This may contribute to heightened stress responses and increased feelings of anxiety.
It's not just stomach aches. Gut inflammation is literally telling your stress system, danger.
all the time.
Precisely. Which brings us to the immune signals, the cytokines.
Okay, what are those?
They're proteins released when your immune system responds, often to that gut inflammation. Think of them like chemical flares signaling trouble. When too many of these flares reach the brain,
They may interfere with how neurotransmitters function,
So that could be the brain fog people talk about.
that's often a big part of it.
debilitating brain fog, chronic fatigue, and some mood symptoms may, in some cases, be associated with inflammatory signals from the gut.
Makes the connection feel really physical.
It is. And one more piece. Gut peptides, like ghrelin and leptin.
Aren't those just hunger hormones? Ghrelin for I'm hungry, leptin for I'm full.
That's what we usually think, yeah. But they also get into the brain and have a big impact on your emotions, your mood, even your energy levels. It's like this whole chemical orchestra in your gut constantly fine-tuning your mental state.
Wow. Okay, so if there's this complex orchestra playing who's conducting, we need to talk about the actual residents of the gut, right? The microbes, these trillions of microorganisms in your gut, the microbiota. They're not just sitting there digesting food, are they?
Not at all. They're incredibly active. They help produce key neurotransmitters. We've been talking about serotonin, dopamine, and another crucial one, GABA.
GABA, that's the calming one.
Exactly. Your primary calming neurotransmitter.
Yeah.
Helps settle the nervous system, and your gut microbes are making it. So the health of this whole microbial community, it's everything. When it's diverse and balanced, it really helps with emotional resilience. But when it's out of balance, that state we call dysbiosis, yeah, the harmony is gone. And that directly leads to problems. More background stress, mood swings become more volatile, your threshold for feeling anxious just gets lower.
And that explains the strong link we see clinically, right? People with chronic gut issues like IBS, reflux, constipation.
Yes, they consistently report higher rates of mental health symptoms. Irritability, nervousness, really low energy.
And you're saying it's not just them being stressed about having a gut problem.
Right. It's often not just psychological. The
Yeah.
underlying inflammation from the dysbiosis itself is sending those constant distress signals up the vagus nerve. That keeps cortisol high, which then makes the gut and the mental symptoms worse. It's a really nasty, vicious cycle.
Okay, so if gut inflammation is sending these distress signals and messing with brain function, treatment really has to look beyond just the brain, doesn't it? What's the cutting edge look like here?
It means we're moving past the old brain-only model. We now understand that chronic stress can make the gut leaky, allowing stuff into the bloodstream that triggers widespread inflammation.
Inflammatory cytokines may affect brain function.
Tackling the inflammation at the source in the gut becomes essential for mental health.
So how do you do that in practice?
Well, one big area is nutritional psychiatry. It's really gaining traction with solid evidence. Like multiple studies show that following a Mediterranean diet, lots of fiber, fermented foods, healthy fats,
Has been associated in some studies with a lower risk of developing depression.
diet is literally medicine for this axis.
What about more targeted things like adding specific good bacteria?
Definitely. That's the field of psychobiotics. It's booming. These are specific strains of bacteria that seem to have a positive effect on the gut-brain axis. Certain types of lactobacillus and bifidobacterium, for example. Research is showing they might help reduce anxiety and depression symptoms, possibly by how they interact with that vagus nerve. We're basically finding bacteria that are good communicators.
So not just any probiotic off the shelf.
Ideally, no. And the future is personalization. We have tools now, like 16S rRNA gene sequencing. It lets doctors map your unique gut microbiome in detail. So instead of generic advice, you get a plan tailored to your gut-specific diet changes, targeted supplements, lifestyle tweaks. It's about treating your specific ecosystem.
That's fascinating. And just to be clear, if someone is already taking medications, say for depression or anxiety, does gut health still matter?
Oh, absolutely. It's a critical point. Remember the 90% serotonin production in the gut?
Right.
Well, your gut health affects how effectively neurotransmitters are made, absorbed, and signaled overall.
Some emerging research suggests a compromised gut environment may affect how certain medications work. Always consult your doctor before changing any medication. Focusing on gut care is not a replacement for prescribed medication, but it may serve as a supportive, evidence-informed complement.
It helps create the best possible conditions for other treatments to work.
Okay, this is incredibly helpful. So now, the big question. What can people actually do? What are the practical steps we can take, like starting today, to support this gut-brain connection?
The first step is to work with that communication highway, the vagus nerve. We need to activate it, strengthen it.
And how do we do that easily? What's the number one thing?
Deep, diaphragmatic breathing.
Yeah.
But here's the key. make your exhale longer than your inhale.
Longer exhale. Why?
That specific pattern, long exhale, sends a powerful signal of safety and calm directly up the vagus nerve. It tells your nervous system to chill out, immediately lowering stress hormones like cortisol. Try something like a 4-7-8 count. Breathe in for 4, hold gently for 7, breathe out slowly for 8. Just a few rounds can make a difference.
Okay, longer exhales. Got it. What else works for the vagus nerve?
Meditation is great for calming the whole system and improving vagal tone over time. And here's a nice one. Real social connection. Good, positive interactions with people you care about. Studies show that actually stimulates the vagus nerve.
Really? So laughing with a friend is good for your vagus nerve?
Absolutely. It promotes feelings of safety, reduces depressive symptoms. It's physiological.
Love that. Okay, moving to diet. What do we feed this system?
You want to feed the good microbes. So fermented foods are key. Think good quality plain yogurt, kefir, kimchi, sauerkraut. They provide direct probiotic input. And crucially, fiber, lots of fiber. That's the prebiotic food for your good bacteria. So plenty of oats, legumes like beans and lentils, and a wide mix of vegetables.
Fiber feeds the GABA producers.
Exactly. It feeds the bacteria that make those calming neurotransmitters.
And what about fighting that inflammation we talked about?
Healthy fats are vital here, especially omega-3 fatty acids. You find them in fatty fish oil supplements, or plant sources like flax seeds and chia seeds. Omega-3s are famous for being anti-inflammatory. They help cool down those chemical flares.
Okay. And any specific probiotic strains people should maybe look out for, besides the general categories?
Well, again, personalized is best, but research has highlighted some strains. Lactobacillus rhamnosus is one that often comes up in studies for supporting mood, possibly through its effects on the vagus nerve. Always best to talk to a knowledgeable practitioner, but knowing some names like lactobacillus and bifidobacterium can be helpful.
Right. And finally, the lifestyle basics.
Can't skip them. Consistent, moderate exercise, even just walking or yoga is great for gut diversity and mood. And sleep. Quality sleep is absolutely non-negotiable. Skimping on sleep throws your hormones and immune signals completely out of whack, disrupting the whole axis.
Okay, so bringing it all together, the main takeaway seems really clear. Your gut and your brain are locked in this constant conversation. How you feel mentally, emotionally, it's being shaped literally minute by minute by what's happening in your gut.
That's the essence of it. Taking care of your gut through the food you eat, managing stress with techniques like that long exhale breathing, maybe targeted probiotics. It lays the foundation for a healthier, more balanced mind.
The emerging science is compelling. Supporting gut health may be an important part of overall mental well-being. While more research is ongoing, the connection is worth taking seriously.
So if that's true, if mental well-being really begins with taking care of this second brain, here's the final thought for you to chew on. What's one small doable change you're going to make, maybe starting today, to improve the conversation between your two brains? Think about your diet, your stress, maybe activating that vagus nerve. What's your first step? We'll catch you on the next deep dive.
This video is for educational and informational purposes only and does not constitute medical advice. Always seek the advice of a qualified healthcare provider regarding any medical condition or treatment.